Good morning, TWC Church family. Want to say hello to all of you. This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. I am excited about today. But before I get into it, let me also say good morning and hello to our internet community, to all of you that may be watching us for the first time. I'd like to welcome you to my YouTube channel. Thank you for watching. Also want to say, look, I want to say this too. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, then please, click the link and subscribe. Click the bell icon too, so that you can get notifications when I put messages on. Because what I want to do is I want to inspire, I want to encourage, but I also want to help you to put your faith into practice. Want to say happy Mother's Day, y'all. This is it. I had to go all out for y'all. I had to come to the church today to do something that will be a blessing for mothers everywhere. This is your day. We want to celebrate you on this day. I want to say personally to each of you, I want to wish you a very special, happy Mother's Day. I don't know what we would do without you. Don't know what it would be like without mothers. Y'all are such an integral part of society and shaping and molding and helping us to become who we are. We love you. We thank God for you. And I want to say this though. If this message blesses you on the day, because that's exactly what I want to do. I want to speak to mothers on today. I want mothers everywhere to be blessed, and then it gives me an opportunity to get away from the whole COVID-19. This has been dominating the media, dominating the airwaves for the last 2 months. So I want to focus on mothers on today, and I want to ask you mothers to do this. If you're a mother, I want to ask you that if this message blesses you, then I want you to share the link with every other mother that you know. Share the link, because we all need some encouraging. We all need to be encouraged and to hear something good, something that can inspire us, something that could make us feel better throughout our day. So I want to give you something today that I feel like will bless you. And because it's Mother's Day, let me just go ahead, because I don't want to take up too much of your time. This is your day. I want you to, get that big plate that you're going to enjoy, or the dinner, and all the other gifts that's going to be poured up on you or lavished up on you today. But I want to speak on this thought to all of our mothers. I want to speak on this thought. The very first mediator I ever knew. The first mediator I ever knew. When I gave my life to Christ, y'all, when you start to get into, you start to study and you get into systematic theology and things like that, and you come across terminology that you never heard before when you first give your life to Christ, And you hear terms: justification, sanctification, propitiation, and all these big words, right? But, there's one word that jumps out at me, and that's what I want to share with mothers on today. And I wanted to let you all know the very first mediator that I ever knew. And I think y'all see where I'm going with this. The first mediator that I ever knew was my mother. And I can talk about her all day. And I want to share with you. And the reason I say that she was my mediator, that was the first mediator that I ever knew, was three things that she did continually on my behalf, on behalf of my brother, that demonstrated that she was a mediator long before I ever knew what a mediator was or what a mediator did. But it was three things that she did. And the reason I want to talk about them is because the same three things I notice that you do. I notice mothers do these things all over. It doesn't matter. Race doesn't matter. Color, black, white, whoever. I notice that it's these same three things that I've watched mothers do all over. It's the same three things that my mother did. And I want to share them with you briefly. The first thing that my mother did for myself and my brother that demonstrated that she was a mediator was she was my advocate. That was the first advocate that I experienced in my life. My mother was my advocate. She was an advocate for me nonstop. She was my advocate when I was good, and she was my advocate when I was bad. And let me tell you, y'all know I used to cut up. I was a difficult little teenager, difficult little boy. But no matter what I did, my mother always supported me. Her support, for me was just, it was remarkable. And there were some things, y'all, there were some things I did that I know that I was clearly in the wrong. I know whatever punishment that need to come up on me because of my action, because of what I did, then I deserve that punishment. Even in those situations, my mother was still my advocate. She still supported me. She still believed in me. I was watching a news article, a few days ago, probably nearly a week ago, and I want to illustrate it this way to talk about how my mother was my advocate, but how you, as a mother, is an advocate as well. It was. I hate to share this story, but it just shows you how advocacy is something that you all have. It's innate within you. You can't help it. It's who you are. It's how God shaped, fashioned, molded, and created you. But this mother and her husband, it was in Georgia, and these two sons, their sons came together to do harm to their mother and their father. And they carried it out. But by the grace of God, their lives were spared. And when they went to court, it was the mother, the husband as well, but it was this mother's advocacy for her boys. That even though they tried to do harm to her, she didn't want to see any harm come up on them. And that was her advocating for her sons, even though they had done something wrong. They'd done something that to try to harm them and take their life. But that mother, her love, her support for her sons, even though they were wrong, demonstrated her role as advocate in their lives. See, that's what y'all are. Y'all are advocates. We need y'all. Y'all are advocate for us before we even know what an advocate is. Y'all demonstrate that kind of love and that kind of support for your children. I think about the two ladies that when Solomon took over and became the king of Israel, they brought a case before him, and it was two mothers, or two ladies that were claiming that the child was their child. And one of the ladies, they both were claiming to be the mother of the child. And I want you to go and read the story. But the story is that Solomon, he was so wise, he needed to know how to handle this situation. And so he asked him to give the child to him, and he said, well, here's how I'll handle this dilemma. He said, I'll cut the baby in half, and I'll give one half to you and one half to the other. And the lady who was not the mother, she was like, well, fine, that's good, that works. Give me one half and give her the other half. But the mother stepped in, and she became an advocate for her child. She says, no, wait a minute. You know what? Give her the baby. I would rather her have my child. than to see any harm come upon my baby. See, that was that mother being an advocate, stepping in the place of the child and not wanting anything to happen to that child. That's what my mother was to me, and that's what I've witnessed you all do too. Y'all are our advocates, and we need that. Second thing my mother did for me and my brother is that she was our go-between. She was our go-between. Now let me explain how I'm using go-between. Y'all know that if you want to see a mother show out, try to mess with their child, you got to go between them to get to that child. A mother will show out for their baby. Well, y'all know y'all do it. I mean, you could not have been in a fight a day in your life. Don't know how to fight. But you mess with that baby, mess with that child. That mother will raise up. She'll get some fight in her from somewhere. She'll get some strength in her from somewhere, because you are not gonna mess with my child. Oh man, that's what my mother was. She was a go-between. And if you had anything against me, if you had an ought with me, or if you had an ought with my brother, guess what? You got to go through her. And look, it was some situations, some scenarios, y'all. She was clearly, out of her league. She was clearly the underdog. But nonetheless, if you going to mess with my child, you got to go between me. You got to get through me to get to them. And she served as a go-between. She was a protector until we were able to defend and protect ourselves. And that's what y'all do. That's what y'all are. Y'all are go-betweens. It's funny because y'all take it to a whole nother level. I mean, y'all, I believe y'all, that's why when you go to the schools, you have to buzz in. The doors are locked and you got to buzz in, and someone in the office got to say, may we help you? And you got to identify yourself. I don't think that was for the fathers. I think that's for the mothers. Because when you mess with a mother's child, y'all will go through the school. If the door wasn't locked, you would walk right in. You'll walk down the hall, find the teacher's room, find the child, stand over the child, and ask your child, is this who was messing with you? Hit them back. But y'all get what I'm saying. Y'all are our go-between. Man, we need y'all. Y'all take that role seriously. You can't mess with a mother's child without having to go through that mother. I learned how to defend. I learned how to protect from watching my mother do it. She put herself in between myself and my brother, and she wouldn't allow any harm to come to us, even if it meant herself being harmed. Wow, that's amazing. That's what y'all do. That's what y'all are as mothers. Y'all are go-betweens. The last thing that my mother was for me and my brother, and that I noticed that all of you do, is that she was my biggest representative. She always represented us. Y'all always do it. Y'all, we always want to, mothers, y'all always want to talk about your child. You always represent us. You represent us when we're good. You represent us when we're bad. You represent us when we're lazy. You still represent us because you believe in us. And even sometimes we go left field at times. We do. It happens. But even when we go left field, y'all never stop believing in us. You never stop pushing us. You never stop challenging us. You never stop speaking into our lives. You never stop speaking into our hearts. And you never are afraid to represent us. You represent us at school. You represent us in our careers. You represent us at work. Wherever someone will be willing to listen, you are going to represent your child. And that's amazing. My mama represented me so hard, y'all. I started believing what she was saying. It made sense, My baby got it going on. I started believing. Guess what? I got it going on because that's what my mother said. And y'all can't tell me nothing because that's what my mama said. Take that to the bank. I'm messing with y'all. But it's real. It was my mother that spoke into our lives that made me believe that I can be somebody. And she did that. Even though we didn't have, it was tough. It was a struggle. I watched her struggle. But even through the struggle, she never stopped representing me. She never stopped representing my brother. Those are the three things that she did to demonstrate that she was a mediator in my life, and my first mediator, even when I didn't even know what a mediator was. Now I'm going to close this thing out. My mother, whether consciously or unconsciously, was representing a greater mediator in our lives. She was representing Jesus in our home even before I knew who the Lord was. It's powerful. She was an advocate, and she was demonstrating the advocacy that I would get to experience when I gave my life to Jesus Christ. In that he too would be my advocate when I'm right, when I'm wrong. He never stopped supporting me. In fact, he's at the right hand of the Father, supporting me and supporting you. But it was my mother who demonstrated that type of advocacy before I met my Heavenly Father. And she did a phenomenal job at it. It was my mother who was my go-between before Christ would become my go-between. Yes, he was there all the time, y'all. But I'm trying to get you to understand that it was my mother modeling certain things that helped me to better understand my relationship with my Heavenly Father. Wow. Are you with me? He is now my go-between. And he said, I will in no wise cast you out. No one could pluck you out of my hand. Look at that protection. And he is now my greatest representative. But because of what my mother modeled, my mom, because of what she modeled, I now have and understand what the Lord really means to me. And not just what he means to me, but what he also meant to her. You all are the first mediator, mothers, that many of us will ever see. And some of you, as mothers, may be the only mediator a lot of times anyone will ever see. Wow, that's a huge role. But our Father has entrusted that with y'all. That's a big role. That's a big assignment. I know, it's a big assignment. But I want you to think about that. My mother was the first mediator that I've ever seen. And you all do a fantastic job of being a mediator too. I want to wish you a happy Mother's Day. I hope that this day brings you everything that you hope for. I hope you're spoiled on the day, and I hope you're pampered on the day. And I want to take this time to acknowledge, my own wife, who too is a mother. Wish her a happy Mother's Day, and she do a phenomenal job. I've watched her throughout the years do a phenomenal job with our children and being a mother, and how serious she takes her role as mediator. So I wish all of you a very happy Mother's Day. And I did something for y'all. I haven't done this in a while, but I did something. I got a little poetic side that I try to bring out every now and then. And I wrote you guys a poem, and got it right here. And I want to do this for you all. And I hope that it bless you. But it's hot off the press. So if I mess up, it is what it is. But I want to read this to you all and give it to you, okay? It says, mothers, You love us when we are right. You love us through our wrong. You help us when we are weak, and you nurture us until we're strong. You run when we call, and you stand when we fall. No matter the task or how big the foe, even in circumstances when you're the underdog, you're still ready to go. You're never a dull moment, and the time you give is time well spent. Mothers, go be the mediator that you are. It's Jesus you represent. Love you. Wish you a happy Mother's Day. Be blessed. I also want to say to those of you that have lost your mother, the Lord knows. The Lord knows. And my heart goes out to you. My mother went to be with the Lord February 28, 1999 at 6:08 p.m. So I identify with you as well. But I want to wish you, too, a happy Mother's Day. And for those of you that have lost your mother, our hearts go out with you. We understand. We lift you up in prayer. Be blessed on this day. I love each of you. I thank the Lord for you. Until I see you next time, have a blessed day.